Om, the Chandogya Upanishad in simple English, presented by Svayam Prakash Sharma, part 11 of 14. This part contains sections 5 to 16 of chapter 6 and concludes the chapter. In this part, Shwetaketu learns about the threefold nature, about the importance of food, about hunger, thirst, sleep, and dying, and about the indwelling spirit from his father. The Upanishad, chapter 6 concluded, sections 5 to 16. The father said, each of the divinities, when they reach the human, becomes threefold. They get divided into three. Food, when eaten, gets divided into three parts. Its coarsest and most inferior part becomes feces. Its middle part becomes flesh, and its subtlest and best part becomes the mind. Similarly, water, when drunk, becomes threefold. Its coarsest, its most inferior part becomes urine, its middle part becomes blood, and its subtlest and best part becomes breath. And heat, whenever eaten, also becomes threefold. Its coarsest and most inferior part becomes bone, its middle part becomes marrow, and its subtlest and best part becomes speech. In this way, my dear, mind consists of food, breath consists of water, and speech consists of heat. Everything is threefold, and so all the three elements exist in everything. Please tell me some more, venerable sir. Yes, my son. Of the curd, when it is churned, that which is subtle in the curd, that moves upwards and becomes butter. In the same manner, my dear, of the food that is eaten, that which is subtle in the food, that moves upward and becomes the mind. Of the water that is drunk, that which is subtle in the water moves upwards and becomes breath. Of the heat that is eaten, that which is subtle in the heat, that moves upwards and becomes speech. In this way, my dear, the mind consists of food, the breath consists of water, and speech consists of heat. Tell me more, venerable sir. Yes, my son. A person consists of 16 parts. For 15 days, do not eat any food, but only drink water at your will. And since breath consists of water, your breath will not be cut off from you because you drank water. For 15 days, Shwetaketu did not eat any food. He only drank water. He then approached his father and asked, "What shall I say, sir?" His father said, "My dear, recite the verses of the Rigved, utter the formulae of the Yajurved, and sing the chants of the Samved." Shwetaketu replied, "I cannot, sir, since they do not occur to me. I cannot recall them." His father then said to him, "My dear, of a very well lighted fire, if only a small ember of the size of a firefly is left, that would not burn for much longer thereafter. In the same way, my dear, out of your 16 parts, if only one small part is left, with that one small part you do not remember or recall the Vedas. Eat some food, my son, then you will understand me." Shwetaketu ate some food and then again went to his father. Now, with food in his stomach, he was able to answer everything his father asked. Then his father said to him, "The small ember of a very well lighted fire can be made to blaze again by placing some straw in it. In the same way, your only part of the 16 parts could be made to blaze again by covering it with food, by putting food in your stomach. With it now you can apprehend and remember the Vedas. For the mind consists of food, the breath consists of water, and speech consists of heat." Then Shwetaketu understood what his father said. Yes, he understood it all. Then Uddallaka Aruni said to his son Shwetaketu, "Now learn from me the true nature of sleep. Know, my dear, that when a person goes to sleep, then in that condition he has reached pure being. He has gone to his own. Therefore it is said, he sleeps, for he has gone to his own. A bird that is tied by a string flies about in different directions without finding a resting place anywhere else, and finally it settles down at the place where it is bound by the string. In the same way, the mind, after flying about in different directions without finding a resting place anywhere else, finally settles down in breath. For the mind is bound to breath as if it were bound by a string. Learn from me what hunger and thirst are. When a person is hungry, as it were, it is because water has carried away, water has led away the food that was eaten by him. As people speak of a leader of cows, a leader of horses, a leader of men, in the same way, people speak of water as a leader or as a carrier of food. The person is hungry because whatever he has eaten is quickly digested. On this, understand that this body is an offshoot which has sprung up from a root, for it could not be without a root. And what else could its root be other than food? And in the same manner, my dear, with food as an as an offshoot, water is the root. With water as an offshoot, heat is the root. And with heat as an offshoot, being is the root. All creatures in existence have their root in being. They have being as their abode. They have being as their support. Being is the ultimate root of the whole universe. Now, when a person is thirsty, as it were, it is only because heat is carrying off what has been drunk by him. As they speak of a leader of cows, a leader of horses, a leader of men, in the same way they speak of heat as the leader of water. On this, understand that this body is an offshoot which has sprung up from a root, for it could not be without a root. And what else could its root be other than water? Its root is water. With water as an offshoot, heat is its root. With heat as an offshoot, being is its root. All these creatures in existence have their root in being. They have being as their abode. They have being as their support. And how each of these three divinities on reaching the human becomes threefold has already been explained. When a person dies and departs from this world, his speech merges in his mind. His mind merges in his breath. His breath merges in heat, and heat merges in the highest divinity. That which is the subtle essence, that which is the root of all this, that the whole world has for itself. That is the true, that is the self, that art thou, Shwetaketu. You are that self, you are that Brahm, you are that Atma. Venerable Sir, please teach me some more. I will, my son. The bees prepare honey by collecting the essences of different trees and reducing all the essences collected into one essence. And just as these essences cannot discriminate and say, I am the essence of this tree, I am the essence of that tree, in the same way, all these creatures, even though they reach being, do not know that they have reached the being. Whatever they are in this world, be they tiger or lion or wolf or boar or worm or fly or gnat or mosquito, they become that. Since they reach pure being without being conscious of it, they return to their original forms, that which is the subtle essence, that this whole world has for itself. That is the true, that is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu. Please teach me some more, Venerable Sir. Yes, my son. Some rivers flow in the eastern direction towards the east. Some, however, flow in the western directions towards the west. They go from sea to sea and become the sea itself. In the same manner, all these creatures, even though they have come out of being, do not know we have come out from being. Whatever they are in this world, tiger, lion, wolf, boar, worm, fly, gnat or mosquito, they become that. That which is the subtle essence. This whole world has that for itself. That is the true. That is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu, Venerable Sir, please teach me some more. Yes, my son. Look at this mighty tree. If someone should strike at the root of this tree, it would bleed but still live. If someone were to strike it at the middle, it would bleed but still live. And if someone were to strike it at the top, it would bleed but still live. Being pervaded by its living self, the tree stands firm, drinking in its moisture, which nourishes it, and rejoicing. Now now if the life were to leave one branch of the tree, then that branch would dry up. If it were to leave a second branch, then the second branch would dry up. If it were to leave a third branch, then that third branch would dry up. And if the life were to leave the whole tree, then the whole tree would dry up. Understand this, my dear. Truly, this body dies when it is deprived of the living self. The living self does not die. That which is the subtle essence, that this whole world has for itself. That is the true. That is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu. Please teach me more, Venerable Sir. I will, my dear. Now, bring me here a fruit of the Nyagrowth tree. Here it is, sir. Break it open. It is broken, Venerable Sir. What do you see? I see these extremely fine seeds, sir. Break one of these. It is broken, sir. What do you see? Nothing at all, Venerable Sir. Then the father said to Shwetaketu, my dear, that subtle essence which you do not perceive is in fact from that very essence this great Nyagrowth tree exists. Believe me, my dear, the cosmic process with its names and forms arises from the subtle essence of pure being. That which is the subtle essence, that this whole world has for itself. That is the true, that is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu. Teach me some more, Venerable Sir. Yes, my son. The father said to Shwetaketu, put this salt in the water and come to me in the morning. Shwetaketu did as he was told. In the morning, the father said to him, the salt that you put in the water last evening, please bring it here. Shwetaketu looked for it but could not find it, as it was completely dissolved. Then his father said, please take a sip of it from this end. Shwetaketu took a sip. How is it? Salt. Take a sip from the middle. How is it? Salt. Take a sip from the other end. How is it? Salt. Throw it away and come to me. He did as he was told. Then his father said, it is always the same. You do not perceive pure being here, though in fact he is here. That which is the subtle essence, that this whole world has for itself. It is the true, it is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu. Venerable Sir, please teach me further. I will, my son. One might lead a person away from the Gandhars with his eyes bandaged and abandon him in a place where there are no human beings. The person thus abandoned, not knowing where he is, would then shout in all the directions, east, west, north and south, I have been led here with my eyes bandaged. I have been abandoned here with my eyes bandaged. And then, if one opened his bandage and told him, pointing towards the direction, in that direction are the Gandharas, go that way. In this way, being informed and now capable of judgment, his bandage gone, he would arrive at Gandhar, asking his way from village to village. In exactly the same manner does the person who has a teacher know, I shall remain here only as long as I am not released from my bandage of ignorance. Then I shall reach perfection. Understand this, my son. A teacher is essential as the remover of the bandage of ignorance of a blindfolded man who wishes to find his way home. That which is the subtle essence, that this whole world has for itself, that is the true, that is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu. Revered sir, please teach me more. Yes, my son. When a person is dying, his relatives gather around him and ask him, "Do you know me? Do you know me?" And as long as his voice is not merged in his mind is not merged in his breath is not merged in heat, and heat is not merged in the highest deity, so long he knows and recognizes all of them. Then, when his voice is merged in mind, his mind in heat, and heat in the highest deity, then he does not know or recognize any of them. Understand this, that both those who know and those who do not know the truth reach the ultimate reality at death. Those who know the truth, however, do not return to embodied life, while those who do not return to embodied life. That which is the subtle essence that this whole world has for itself, that is the true, that is the self. You are that self, Shwetaketu. Revered sir, please tell me more. Yes, my son. Now, my son, let me tell you about the ordeal by fire. If a person was accused of theft, if he was accused of stealing, then he was subjected to the fire ordeal. An iron axe is heated up and he is asked to grasp the heated axe. If he has committed theft, then he would be untrue. He would be a liar and the axe would burn him, proving that he has stolen. He would then be punished. But if he has not stolen, if he is not the doer of the crime he is accused of, then he makes himself true. Being given to truth and covering himself with the protective cover of truth, he takes hold of the heated axe and is not burnt. Then he is released. And in this case, he would not be burnt. In this way, all that is in existence has that self for itself. That is the true. That is the self. You are that very self, Shwetaketu. Then Shwetaketu understood the truth of the self from his father. Yes, he understood the truth of the self from his father. This concludes part 11 and chapter 6 of Chandogya Upanishad. Om Shanti 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 Om.